Right folks, welcome back to that Ross Fellas YouTube channel. This is episode 2 of the Weekend Fixed. I'm joined by Peter Carr. He's been fighting his whole life. We're just going to talk about the highs and lows of fighting, everything that went into his fighting career and what the future holds for Peter. So we're just going to start on where did it all begin?
All began in a club called KKC now at the moment in Carr. It was in the back of an old folks. All began when went to see my sister fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mad, yeah, because my sister was fighting boys and girls, so I wanted to give her a go.
Yeah, how old were you when you first went in there?
When I actually went to see my sister, I was 4. Then I was told I have to wait for another year.
Yeah, 5 years of age.
5 years, so I went after 4, I went in, and ever since that.
Oh, went
I've lived, yeah.
So what have you done? Like obviously kickboxing was the first one. So what was your first kind of like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life? When did you realise like that was fighting for you, you know what I mean?
See, it's very hard for some people to say, like, as probably some people out there like understand what I'm on about. Like, you don't really know when this is it.
Yeah.
It's till when you fight, and then when you fight and get money, you're like, oh, this is for the family.
Yeah, you want to change.
You want to change with the family. Like for yourself, like we've years ahead.
Yeah,
the man that you look after,
yeah. Look after them now.
Yeah.
That's it. So what's obviously, we go into a lot of things when we move on, but what's your first big fight that you felt, oh, this is massive, like?
The first biggest one was the Ishka. I fought for an Ishka Irish title. I was 16 years of age. Oh, for 5 rounds, 3 minutes. This was tough.
Yeah.
It was my first one. Yeah, there was a lot of there.
Yeah.
A lot of people. And I remember the fight, like, from start to finish. It was just punch and kick.
Did you knock out, or was it?
No, we went the whole 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fella fought. My God, I fought him about 4 or 5 times. He was a beast.
Yeah.
Paddy Stokes never got him. This fella was a beast.
And did you just fight him in that, or have you fought him loads of times?
Fought him good kill, yeah. Fought him in a few fight nights and a few. I fought him for 1 title.
Yeah.
And then we fought 5 times. I won 4, we drawed 1. When we drawed, that was the last fight we had. We haven't fought since.
Yeah, so that was the big
sure
one. Is there anyone else you can think of off the top of your head that you fought a few times and was like, oh fuck, he can fight, like?
A few times. See, I haven't, not really, but the people that I fought were like, oh, that was tough, yeah. I remember I fought a Russian in the World Championships in Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was real hard.
Can't remember his name, but this fella,
the Russians are built different.
He's tough, yeah,
they're built different. So obviously I know your achievements, but just for everybody watching, what have you won and what competitions have you won?
Oh, I won multiple world and European titles.
Yeah.
Multiple, yeah.
Yeah, see, I know that, but obviously everyone watching won't know that, you know what I mean?
I won a good few Irish titles.
Yeah.
Be all titles, European titles I fought for and fought away, world titles, international and national titles.
Fuck's sake. Your record, what was your record?
My record for the full contact kickboxing had 40 fights, had 28 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 26 knockouts.
Jesus, that's some going.
I only started that career when I was 14 and I got all that before I was 19.
5 years it took you and you won all of that. And what's it like knocking someone out?
People think it's good, I think it's scary.
Yeah.
Because you're saying to yourself, like, when you fight someone you want yourself and that opponent to go home to the family.
Of course.
So when you knock someone out, you don't know like what way you knocked out. Are you gonna wake up? Or
and have you ever in the middle of a fight felt a punch and went, oh shit?
Yeah, I got rocked once.
Yeah.
Got rocked once in my career, yeah. And it's horrible, it's like my whole body shut down. It was weird.
You could feel it, like. But right, so obviously we go into what do you think is the hardest loss you've had so far?
Hardest loss, see, you can say like I lost 1 year, the first year I went to the Worlds I lost.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my hardest, that was just get up and get over and win again, you know. The hardest loss was the K1 fight. I had a K1 pro fight. This was tough. This was very tough, yeah. This fella just chopped me down. Do you know, me I should have took the fight on, didn't have to experience the fight in the Do you know, but that's part, like, you risk it.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to learn from it.
You took the chance.
Hopefully down the line I'll end up finding him again, do you know. If not, but
but say it's tough, like even mentally, what was it like mentally coming out of that fight?
It was depressing.
Yeah.
Didn't want to talk to anyone. Didn't talk to me ma, my dad, didn't want to talk to my fiance. It was bad.
Just kept the head down.
Just wanted to quit everything. Fighting,
was that
everything,
tough?
yeah. Like the love for the sport went like.
And this is fighting what 10,
This
12 years as
This
well.
is fighting 17 years.
And
No, it'll be 18 years
that's
this
how you
year.
felt after that.
I just wanted to quit, yeah. I got fat, depressed, just nothing. But then, you see, you change around when you look, you see your family struggle. You want to make, change that.
And being from the inner city like yourself and myself, you see that every day. You know what I mean? The struggle.
Yeah, you get that every day in the city, and people judge you from who you are.
Yeah.
Like, people don't see us what we're doing now.
No,
You know.
they don't see it as a positive either. It's always negative.
The one thing I want to do, and it's me goal, is to die as an idol to someone.
Yeah.
I'd
That's a
love.
massive goal.
Yeah, I'd love
And
to
that's
do it
it.
as well.
Listen, think of it. Look at all the people that are idols to us at the minute. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
people we look up to. Eventually, when you do go into all the things you want to go into, someone will. That look, I'm your mate, and I look up to. You know what I mean? So someone will always, you yourself, someone's always gonna look up to somebody like you. Do you know what I mean? All positive, fighting your whole life, 18 years. That's tough. That's tough. I've only trained in fighting, and I know that's tough. You know what I mean? So imagine me walking to a ring.
It's
I couldn't
different,
imagine
yeah,
it.
it's different.
You're doing it nearly 18 years. That's a long time to be fighting. So what's the highest about all the fighting? What would you say is your best achievement, and how the highest you've ever felt during your fighting career?
The highest I ever felt one is, because I felt this all because my coach. I had to, when I was doing the kickboxing, I had two coaches. I had Nicholas Duffy and Jimmy Upton.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, for 2 years, he slagged me because the first year I did the Worlds, I lost. So it goes to Worlds, European, Worlds.
Right.
So and when I lost them Worlds, I was like, you know what, I'm going to win again. So I fought the Europeans, won the Europeans, and the next year was the Worlds. But from when I lost that day, every day he slagged me. Because when I win the fight, it was the final, and I lost the last 30 seconds, and my fitness was gone. And Jimmy slagged me, but he slagged me where
motivate you.
Yeah.
You know he's not. He
and then when I
doesn't
started hitting pads, I was hitting hard, and I wasn't getting out of breath. And then he was like, "There you go, like that's what you need."
You need that sort of motivation to push it.
Yeah, I think when I won the world championships in the Sea West Hotel,
that was it.
I was like on my home ground, and I won the world's all.
Yeah, and who did you beat in that? You know.
I bet the fella from Finland. Yeah. At the moment he's holding the the Wacko Pro title. So I'm gonna say easy up for the challenge.
Love it.
It's easy up for a fight.
Obviously, we're after getting through all the stuff. Kinda, we're gonna move into what do you think? What's next, basically, for you?
See, next it's kind of hard to say. Like in fighting, when you say someone says they're gonna go with the flow, they don't mean like they're just gonna see what happens. They're gonna do everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do boxing. I'm gonna do MMA. Like no one knows that yet, but I'm gonna do the MMA
exclusive
ground.
on the weekend fix.
I'm gonna do the MMA. I'm gonna do K1, and then give her a go.
You try everything.
And then I'm gonna do them all. See who brings me further. Whoever brings me further, I might end up doing that one forever, or doing them all a bit at once. You know.
And what was it like being a fighter in the inner city?
It's tough and it's good.
Yeah.
Because people, like when I was a kid, like people always used to pick on you, say, "Oh, we fight you, let's go." And it's the fact that I couldn't fight. It's like I wouldn't disrespect my family, you know.
Yeah,
I hate fighting.
Yeah.
And then when you fight in kickboxing, you could lose your license, or on boxing lose it, and you don't want someone to thinking he's a fighter and he's showing his weight around, which I'd never do.
Yeah, no, I know that.
So I know myself, when shit goes down, shit goes down.
You can handle it, but you can't. Yeah, that's the risk you're taking every time someone starts on you. Even when you're going out to a nightclub and someone starts on you, you're taking a risk even reacting to that. See, and is it hard because obviously I know what it's like going out on nights out and there's just gobshites everywhere that think, "Oh, I'm gonna do this and that to this fella," you know what I mean? Just start.
There's gobshites everywhere. It's a fact of are you good at controlling it, or I ain't got to know. I'll be very good at controlling it. Yeah. But it take a lot to push me.
Yeah. But and has anyone ever pushed it to that level to where you were like, "Oh, hold on for a minute"?
Once, yeah, but that happened.
We both know what happened.
But it didn't. Other than that, like I'd never. But what's the point of trying to wait around? I know I can fight. Yeah. You know, I know myself down. I can fight. Why throw around the people and show off? And that's not good. Like.
And what's kind of the differences between? Now, obviously, we know the difference between kickboxing and boxing. You can throw your feet, but how does it feel in there when you're boxing?
I get this ass loads of times. Glad you asked this. Yeah. Kickboxing and boxing tough. Both of them. To me, you have to be fitter in boxing because you're boom, boom, boom here, toe to toe punching. But someone kicking you in the face ain't right. This is strong. Like a punch punch is a punch, but getting kicked in the face and the ribs, different level.
And have you felt that? Have you
Oh,
felt
I got
kick
kicked
to
in the
head?
ribs, broke me ribs, got kicked in the elbow, the blocker broke my elbow. I broke loads of stuff, but it's just that if you're in that sport, you just have to get used to it, do you know?
Yeah.
Anything could happen in the ring, do you know?
Yeah, you just
Anything
don't
at all.
know what's next. But obviously you're just saying there that you're going to move into MMA. Have you trained any MMA?
Trained for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't say who yet.
Yeah, I won't say where or who, but how was that feel now? How was that in terms of your boxing? Obviously you've trained boxing for a while now, you've done kickboxing for 16 years. How different is training MMA compared to the two?
It's big difference. I'll fight any person weight, height, face to face, but when you're on that ground, it's just different. Like, no matter how skinny or small you are, they're gonna choke you if they're not experienced.
Yeah.
Like, I've been choked by training with my mate at the moment. You know Michael's story.
Yeah.
Michael's hell.
Yeah.
Training with him and he little fuckers choked me out, you know.
Yeah, and like when people look at that, it's big, huge fellas, little small fella, you know what I mean?
Like,
but
he's much smaller than
MMA
me.
is completely different than what you've done, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
MMA, someone gets a hold of you and takes you down, you don't have to defend that, they're tapping you out.
But I'm getting used to like sprawling. I'm getting used to getting people off me.
Yeah.
And then when I'm on top, it's different. When you have like I'm been sparring with 8 ounce and 10 ounce and him and these. It's different.
Much different.
And getting smacked them is different, but
Yeah.
it's something I want to do. So
Of course, we'll move into that. And obviously, what's your favourite of them all?
very hard pick.
Yeah.
I just like the fight. But if I have to pick, say kickboxing because I started there.
Yeah.
That's where I started, you know. I started looking up after my sister Deborah, and then ever since that.
And is your sister still fighting or?
Now she's a lazy shy.
Yeah.
Ever since she had the baby.
That was it.
No, you know she's gonna see this, so I'm glad she is. Yeah. Lazy.
That'll give her motivation to start doing it
See, my
again.
sister's good. My sister's very good, you know.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to scrap the first person in the ring, one ring the boys. Straight on to my sister.
She millions.
But she was good, yeah, very good. Like, she fought in the world and that, so.
Yeah. And obviously, growing up in the inner city, I touched on this with Taylor. He grew up in the inner city as well. I just want to ask you as well, what's the toughest challenge you've faced in the inner city growing up there so far, if you can think off the top of your head?
In what kind of like tough?
Like mentally challenging or like experience you've had in the inner city where you thought, Jesus, this is hard, you know what I mean?
How two-faced everyone is.
Yeah.
That's not
we
one
can,
below,
we
yeah.
can sit here and talk about that for ages.
We can sit here and talk for days and write a book about it.
Yeah.
But how two-faced and stubborn people can be,
Yeah.
do you know?
Yeah.
Like, I want nothing but happiness and love for everybody.
Yeah.
Because we're here for a short time, not a long time.
Exactly.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Want to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Do you know all this
And
hate
give
each other,
positivity
two-faced?
to everybody around us, constantly motivating other people. I don't understand how someone can look at their friend and be jealous, do you know what I mean?
Like, man, I was winning 8 years in a row just on street, having mates from coming cracks out of the walls from everywhere. As soon as you lose, only the real stick
You
behind.
were on your own.
And I can name a handful, I swear to God. It's like yourself and, you know, Dylan Kelly, Gary, they stick, and the boys on the flats, they stuck
They
behind.
stuck behind you constantly,
matter what.
but everybody else that was, oh, Pete does this, Pete does that,
Yeah.
as soon as you
See, the
took
boys
that
know who
loss.
they are.
Yeah.
Or the
I'd
boys
say
that
so,
hang around
yeah.
me and the boys in the flat.
Yeah.
They for my last fights getting ready, I want to lose the weight, I want to be more dedicated, it wasn't for them.
Yeah.
They pushed me
Well,
terribly.
that's what you want. You should be surrounded by anybody that motivates you, you know what I mean? If people are motivating you, don't want this negativity, like as myself doing the YouTube. I don't want people coming to me and saying, Ross, I don't think you should do that, you know what I mean? Why shouldn't I? And there will be people out there that is probably like, oh, he shouldn't be doing that, you know what I mean? But why shouldn't I? There shouldn't be any negativity. It's like your missus doing her little business, Luna Crystals, get onto that on Instagram. Like, why shouldn't she do that? You know what I mean? It's something
She got
enjoying
that as
doing.
well, bro.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's going to judge you from what you do because, I don't know how they say it, but like, people love to help you, but they hate to see it like do good. They
Succeed.
don't like giving you credit, bro.
Yeah.
They'll help you this and that, but as soon as you're doing good, they'll two-face and all this, you know. As I said the other day, you probably see on my Instagram, like, I've over like for 3,000, 4,000 friends on Facebook, Instagram, do you know, and you get 10 likes, 10 something. I don't give a fuck about the likes. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
give a fuck
not
about
about
the
that.
comments.
But when you put something out there, like myself with this YouTube, and I know who the real ones are. When you put something out there, how long does it take for me to go onto my phone, see your post, share that to me story, and then boom?
Bro, it doesn't
How long
cost
does
you
that
anything.
take? And it takes a second out of your day. I don't understand. Like, I have now obviously all the boys, they support me, you support me, all the boys support me, but I have people out there who will text me and say, what you're doing is very good there, but won't share it when I ask for a share. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
True,
it only takes 2 seconds, and I think a bit of jealousy comes into that as well, because people are afraid to do the things we're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like fighting, people are afraid to do fighting. So when they see someone from the area that's doing well in fighting, they get jealous of that.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I do that? Because you don't have the balls to start in the first place. You know what I mean?
It's not even the balls. The fact of you need the courage. You just need to do it.
You just need
Like,
to bite the bullet.
the fact that how people can turn out is just mental. Like, you've been there from since day one, because you lost one fight, because you made a mistake in your blading program, because you made a mistake on the crystals, and what? Get over it. You walk from it, you learn from it, you come back.
That's what people remember, though, isn't it? People always remember that one negative thing that you've done. Do you know what I mean? It's always the same, and especially in this area as well. It's every day. It's the same shit every.
Unfortunately, yeah, we live in a mad little part.
It's mad though, because like there is a few people on my YouTube that aren't from Dublin, but they never have a clue what we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, I'm not saying someone doesn't have it as difficult as we have, but Dublin's inner city.
Everywhere in the world has their own little problems.
Yeah, of course, but Dublin's inner city was tough, bro.
But if you're with your own, you should support them, bro.
Yeah,
no matter what.
especially, and I wouldn't mind Irish, when it comes to Irish fighters or Irish football players, the support is unbelievable. So we do support theirs 24/7, but when it's someone from the inner city who's doing a bit better than somebody else, it's kind of like, I don't know, fuck.
But see the way you said it, support someone, they only support someone that's either a celebrity or something. Like, they'll support somebody that doesn't even know they exist yet.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Like, I know who's out there, I know who's watching me, I know who's not watching me.
Yeah.
I know people that likes me, that doesn't like me. If no one doesn't like me,
I don't care.
I
That's
don't give a
one thing.
fuck, bro.
I wouldn't be doing YouTube if I was afraid of
No
who liked me
way.
or not. Do you know what I mean?
No
Because
way.
I know 100% there's people out there laughing at that. So what the fuck is he doing? If I thought about that and said, oh bollocks, I can't do this, then I already failed. Do you know what I mean?
That's the one thing we're gonna do, bro. We're gonna fail in life.
I
As you
have
say.
failed over and over, and as yourself, we failed over and over and over again. It's about getting back up and going again and going again. You know what I mean? You need that motivation.
That's one thing, bro.
Someone fighting 17 years obviously has that fucking motivation.
I love to fight, do you get me?
Yeah.
But what I love to do, I love fighting. I love fighting for my family and country. Do you know what, bro? Fuck me. Do you know, I have years
it's
ahead
not
of me.
about you. Yeah.
I have years ahead of me,
Yeah.
bro. I'm 22 years of age, you know?
Yeah.
And they say around the years now, it's up to 75 to 80 years, you know, that you have to survive. Your man dad is there for you, that no matter what, you have to look after them, bro.
Yeah.
Do you get me? I look after my man, dad, my sisters and my
So
nephews
your
and nieces.
motivation is family.
I said it to Emma, my fiance, I said it to her, like, we can wait, we have years.
Yeah.
We have years ahead of us.
You have your whole future ahead of you.
And one thing I want to do, I want to look at my man, dad, and her man, dad.
Yeah. That's right, but that's how you're motivated to keep doing what you're doing, and what you're doing is unbelievable, bro. I don't have to tell you that, you should know that yourself.
It's very hard sometimes to know, bro, as you were saying, you know. People
Sometimes you
people
do
show
need
it.
that little kick up the arse, you know what I mean? Like someone to tell you, oh, you're great, do you know what I mean? And I'm not looking for praise off anybody, but sometimes you do just need that, like my missus as well, that little kick. Like you should be proud of yourself. Boom, that motivates me. Oh, I'm going to do it again and again and again, do you know what I mean?
See, you know you're great, and I know I'm great.
Yeah.
But when someone gives you that little bit more boost, I want you to be
Kind of
greater.
Push
I
you,
want you to push more. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, I don't care if I don't get likes, comments, and it's the fact of, if you want to be me, make sure you support.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, don't like it, but if you're supposed to be me,
If
show
you're
it.
supposed to be close to me, you should be showing your support. It's simple as that.
If you're supposed to be, if not even a mate, you're supposed to be family as well.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
anybody.
the main thing. Like family, I class my close friends as family. Like some of them closer to me than some family, you know what I mean?
I'm not saying my family did anything.
No,
but
they didn't.
Family's not always blood, bro.
Yeah,
That's
and
one
then,
thing.
but this is the thing, like, I see my family, I don't see all my family a lot, but the ones I do see a lot, like obviously, I love all my family, every last one of them, there's no ifs or buts about that, I love my family, but your mates are there looking at you, seeing how you are, mentally, physically, 24/7, do you know what I mean? You don't see, like I don't see all my aunties every day of the week and my uncles every day of the week.
Yeah.
I'd love to now, don't get me wrong, but I don't. So your mates are there 24/7, they see the ins and the outs, they know everything about your life, where you came, what you done, anything you've tried, how you are mentally, your mental health, all this type of thing. So you would like to think that sometimes it is closer than family,
Yeah.
but some of them just don't push it, you know what I mean?
Just stripped away, bro.
Yeah.
And one thing I don't like is when you go to someone for help and they're like, we all have problems, but at this moment in time, you're not on about everyone else's problem, you're on about your problem.
Yeah.
Help.
I have this problem, and sometimes, like, I done a mental health video that took an awful blade, not bro, I'm not gonna lie
Yeah.
about that, but sometimes I needed to get that out there, whether it was to, like, say, what is that, 650 views on it or something like that, like that's 650 people looking at my story, do you know what I mean? But I needed that. I
Yeah.
was sitting around for a few days and thinking of everything that was going on in my head, and do you know what, fuck this, I need to get this out. And it was a massive weight taken off my shoulders and
It's
saying
true,
the support.
yeah.
But sometimes you do need that. And if you go to somebody for help with something mentally and they're not there to help, well then forget about them because they're not your mate, and it's as simple as that.
That's number facts.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. So we'll just finish up on a few little things. What do you think is going to happen now in the future? Like what do you think's exactly next, if you can think of it?
To be honest, no disrespect to anyone in Ireland, I think I'm gonna be a good big thing in Ireland.
Yeah.
I know I've lost, and fucking what?
You have to
But now
take
I've
the
got
losses.
beaten, I've got stopped, and what? I didn't win much in the amateur and the boxing. Because amateur is different, bro. It's all bum bum, in out, in out. Just fight me. Stand here, let's go.
Yeah.
Do you know, show who you are.
Hugging and
The
showing
pro
them
game, I'll shock a lot of people, bro.
Yeah. And what, you going into pro boxing or?
Pro bit of everything.
Yeah, he's gonna be pro in every single fighting sport in the world.
You need the cash, bro.
Yeah.
Jamie, you need money to look after.
Future Irish champion was sitting here looking at. So obviously, is there any regrets you have in the fight game or in your career or your life in general?
One regret?
Yeah.
One regret would be, not showing, like, it's hard to explain. It's not showing enough thanks and love to my mum and dad for what they did.
Yeah. They're two people that have been there for you.
They're the only two people.
The only two that have been right there since you came out of your mother. Do you know what I mean?
That's one thing. Like, no matter how much you're a scumbag or you're a little bastard at home, your mum and dad is
You'll always have
probably
a
can't curse, but fuck like that.
No, you can course all you fucking want.
But no, yeah, that's one thing, yeah.
And then sometimes you make it hard on them, don't you? Like sometimes, like
Hard
me
is the
growing
word.
up, like me growing up, like I may have been shy on the streets, but to me man, that was a cunt. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
That's
felt
what people don't understand, yeah. The shit that goes on behind closed doors.
like,
Obviously I'm not going to be here if it wasn't for my coaches.
yeah, of course.
But I want to be here for what I am if it wasn't for my dad.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
Your
like my
dad,
mum, my dad, like, my dad brings me everywhere.
yeah.
Like my dad, mate, if I had to cycle somewhere, no car, my dad cycle with me. I had to walk, my dad would walk, Jimmy. Like I had to go, like we had to go to the Worlds and all. This is what the only thing I don't like about kickboxing. When we went to the Worlds, like we had to like make up our own money to travel. Like we wouldn't be supported or anything, track show or something. Like I'm not probably gonna get in trouble saying that, but you just have to say it.
But the fact you have to fork out your own money, that's nothing negative towards that sport. It's you're telling me about a little struggle that your mother and father helped you through. Like that's nothing negative towards whoever organises it. You needed help and you couldn't get it anywhere. Your man and dad are the ones that always have your back. Yeah, as you said, you've told me numerous stories about how your dad's helped you through your career and always been that. But your man and dad's been your biggest motivation to achieve great things in your life.
See, people when they see me and my dad, that's one thing I say about them. People when they see me and my dad, it's like we don't get along around people, but we do.
Yeah.
But we clash a lot.
It's a love-hate relationship.
It's not a love hate, it's just love, but it's just deep love.
Clashes,
It's just deep love.
It's so similar to each other as
like
well.
brothers.
So yeah.
It's not even my dad, it's like my best mate.
Yeah.
It's mad, yeah. Like if I go training, like I could go to a fight, man, and punch the hell out of this young bloke, knock him out. My dad always, you could have did better, could have stopped him faster, you could have did your, like, my dad always wants to be perfect more.
Yeah, of course. It's a good thing.
Which is the best thing you could ever have, like I won't be here for one, you know, or the man I am. I don't mind the fight, it's just the man I am.
Yeah.
So as soon as I put glasses on, someone says, oh, there's Peps. That's my dad, you know.
Yeah.
And then my man, she'd make me dinner, breakfast, lunch, everything. Go up early just to have my meals prepped for the week, go buy everything, and she'd leave her last penny. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Like at one stage we all rough for money. I don't care what anyone says. We all, no matter who you are, you're always like, oh shit, where's this money gone? Do you know? I mean, man, that last penny just dropped on me. Do you know, for food, training, for new gloves, new wraps, do you know.
Always had the best.
No
of the
matter
best,
how-
even if it was a last euro.
No matter how
yeah.
much it was,
Yeah.
with that pair of gloves, that nice muchly 300, oh what? And then next day later, like, here look, get it, train hard, like, yo.
And that's why he's where he is today.
Yeah. One thing I want, it's like, what is it now? Next 4 years, bro. 5 years, I want my man and dad to sit back, never walk again. Next 4 years, never walk again. Just sit back, enjoy life, and die happy. That's what I want.
That's 100%, and I'm sure with your fighting, you'll give them that, bro.
Yeah,
I've no
true.
doubt about that. Whatever it is you decide to take up next, but looking at you, seeing you every day on Instagram, seeing you as a mate constantly, looking at you, the motivation is next level. Do you know what I mean? And when you have that behind you, you can achieve anything.
Yeah, but one thing I don't like, bro, but don't be afraid to come approach me. Don't be afraid to come over. Like, I'm not gonna say because I'm a fire wacky,
One
bro.
of the nicest blokes I've ever met, and that's a fact. And even going back to when we weren't mates, but we knew each other.
In school.
You still helped me no matter what it was. You know what I mean?
Days.
I never felt fearful of, oh, that's Peter Carr, you know what I mean? Now I knew obviously your background and you could fight and all, but look at the way we are now, you know what I mean?
Well, never. Every time we fought was for a reason. Do you know?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I never fought. Obviously I fought, but it's for a reason, bro.
Every time, yeah.
We
And
don't just go around
just
trying to win.
now, you know, we can say that too, we can back you up on that. It was never, well, you can do this and I can do that, or I'll do this and I do that. You see a situation you didn't agree in and you got involved for the simple reason of looking after your mates. It was never anything bad, or I can do this, I'm an MMA fighter, or I can do K1, I'll kick his head off his shoulders.
That's the thing. I love how you understand it, bro. Do you know what I mean? Some people don't. Like, the generation we are is kind of good, but the generation coming up will understand, or the generation my man and dad, you think, oh look at that scumbag fighting. I'm fighting because it's in me to help someone, or I need to fight. Do you know what I mean? Because if we fought in the street, the one thing I think about is, oh, my man and dad are gonna blame.
That was always mine, and I was a cunt for it. You know that, bro. It was every week I was playing fighting on the streets, and that's every time I did, that's the first thing I thought of. And then obviously when I got with Stacey, if I did fight, and I did fight a few times when she wasn't there, I'd never get into trouble around her. But when she wasn't there, I'd be coming home with a busted nose, or I was at the killing someone and I have a black eye from fighting someone, and I'd be like, that's the first thing I think of, me man, dad, bollocks.
That's what I do think of. I'm thinking of my nephews as well. Do you know? If I come home with a black eye, I'd come home with a black eye because I was sparring.
Yeah.
If I came home with, like, I never came home with anything that just showed them, just training, you know. I know I'm tough on them, but
you have to be.
my little brothers, I have to look after them.
It's like having your own child, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's like I have my own child now with Lily.
Yeah, but what would you be like with your own child? You constantly want them to be better. You know what I mean?
I don't
It's
care
nothing.
what my child wants to do. Once they know how to fight, you can do whatever you like. Just once, twice a week, I can show you how
But
to
that's
throw a punch.
because you've seen what it was like I never knew how to fight. I taught everything myself just from street fighting, you know what I mean? But back a few years ago, as I said in the mental health video, when I was bullied, like, I wish that was one thing I knew how to do, you know what I mean? Now I can now, and you've seen it for yourself, but that's one thing I always wished I could do, was fight, just because I knew how hard it was. Bullying, people starting on you thinking I'll just smash his head in for no reason, you know what I mean? And that's one thing I'm going to do myself with my kid, is just know how to throw a punch. Because you're going to come in a stage.
No matter where you are, you're going to come to it.
Yeah, no matter what it is, and it might be for nothing. Now, our kids might be cunts, but if they're not, it's going to come eventually. Someone's going to bully them, or someone's going to start.
It could happen at
and
their age, with their older, you know?
Yeah, even at 20 or 22, you know what I mean? At some stage in their life, they're going to come into a situation, especially in this area, if we do end up living here for the rest of our life, it's they're kind of 110% going to come into a situation where they need to know how to defend themselves.
That's true.
And that's one thing I wish I could do at that stage, you know what I mean? I was 12, 13, and I had people that were big fat barrels playing.
People don't know that about you.
Yeah.
But then people know, as you said, about your negative stuff. Do you know, people don't know about me either. Like, I was bullied as well, and the fact of when I was bullied, right, so I just went into train, seeing my sister went into it, then I was training kids, I'm not going to mention the names, and I was training adults as well that were bullied. Just showing them how to punch, you get me? And it's just great to see, like, when they come down, how confident they are, you know? Because it's a sad world we live in when some people get bullied for no reason.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's a sad
we
world.
see it now, especially now with social media, how negative social media is. Like, you do something wrong, social media doesn't let you forget. You know what I mean? Like, Caroline Flack is an example of that. You know who that is, you know what I mean? Constant abuse online of people. There's a lot of other examples that we could talk for hours on. But the social media now doesn't let you forget, like, do you know what I mean? And it can be a right cunt. Like, you could be the nicest person in the world, but someone on social media said you were a cunt, so everybody that follows them thinks you're a cunt then, do you know what I mean?
That's the one thing.
And then you're sitting at home then on your own going, am I a cunt?
It can spread fairly easy, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what anyone
I
says,
know,
there's
years
always
ago,
two stories.
Years ago with girls, even, like, touching on the girl thing now, because there's a lot of thing about sexual assault and stuff like that. Like, people sending girls nudes in group chats. Like, how do you feel as a 15-year-old girl? You were comfortable with one person and now you know hundreds of people.
You'd never able to trust anyone.
You couldn't trust anyone again, and that's 15. You have to go through your whole life.
And that's one
being
thing.
That way then.
That's one thing with mates, family, or relationships. You need trust.
Yeah.
No matter
There's
where
no
you are.
trust, you can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
You know what I mean? And it's the same with your trainer, as you said. You're teaching kids how to punch, and adults. Like, they need to trust you.
That's one thing.
You need to gain their trust, and once you have their trust, they'll be fully confident they know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? And it goes into everything in life. If I think of a new idea, and I tell Stacey, I have to trust her in getting out this idea. And now if she tells me, no, you might not, don't do that, then I'll listen to her. You know what I mean? Because I trust her, and she do everything in her power to make sure I'm doing great things. So I trust that. You need trust in everything you're doing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one thing. Trust.
And mental health is always number one. Always number one.
One thing you should do, I say you did mention your own, bro, but you need to talk out. People need to talk.
No, they do, and I have plans to make a full video. That video I first done was me holding my phone here and just talking shit, but I'm going to sit down now. At some time in the future, I'm going to tell my whole story to the camera for the YouTube, just because I want to be one of the tailblazers in showing that speaking up is okay, you know what I mean? Even if you just post a picture of yourself on Instagram, but in your picture, your caption, have your story. Get it out there.
That's one thing.
You'll see the support behind you once you show that.
Like, it goes with both. Both need to speak out.
Yeah.
Mainly men. Men think we're tough. Like, some men try to
But
go
this
around
is
like
the
they're
stigma
tough.
that was going for years, and I've seen it first hand with me own two eyes, but I won't get into that. But this is the stigma that goes into it, is we have to be tough. We're men. We're macho. We're this big cunt. We're not allowed to cry. Bro, if I told you how many times I bawled me eyes out, you'd laugh.
Here's your twin.
People, this is what, it's great now to see that people are speaking up, and I'm not messing, it's number one for me is mental health, but the amount of people now that's actually coming out and speaking up and showing to everybody else that this is okay.
Like, the one thing, like, when I was a kid, I was always real fan of them. I didn't give a rat's, like, still don't. I'd wear any colour, anything. People say, why'd you wear all your... I'm a man. I'm what a man. I wear what I want. A man can do what he wants, where he wants. Bro. Do you get me? Like, that's one thing about men. We need it. Not saying us, but men. Like, when I say we, like, men need to stand up. Like, we're not all just big, blocky, fucking hard men. You know.
That has no
if we're all hard men,
that's the case, we're robots.
Yeah, and we can all say, and you can agree with me this, and now you're gonna say, yeah. When you're with your missus, you're a completely different person.
Yeah.
You're all, oh, I love you now.
You do, me. I'm the little.
And then you're with the boys, you're like, what's up?
Giving it all. I'm this, I'm that.
I couldn't care. No matter the generation now, the world is different. We need each other. No matter who you are, no matter what, where you're from.
I couldn't care less. But there's a fellow I met on Instagram, and just through Instagram, who does a great thing on Instagram, lad fight. Now, never met him in person, never ever met him in person, and yet he tells me my stuff is great, I share his stuff to his story. We all need to get together and support each other. Like, we just met through Instagram, two of us followed each other on Instagram. You know what I mean? And then we shared my stuff, one shared his stuff, and we're having great conversations about things, you know what I mean? That's all just through social media, but that's what you're saying. We all need to get behind each other. Even if you don't even know somebody and you just say, oh, hold on, he's doing something good there, do you know what I mean? Push that.
Doesn't matter where you are, you should always have someone. No matter where you're from, what race. Like, I have mates from Canada, America, England, everywhere, from kickboxing, you know. And that's what I love about kickboxing as well. Like, I have friends forever. Jamie, friends that know that I'm there for the same thing they're doing and looking for grind. just there to make a living. You know, that's what I love
We
about
all
it,
need
bro.
to be with each other, and all of us as a group of friends that we are, we may not see each other every day of the week, but we're at an age now where we have a life to live. We're never gonna see each other every day, but we're at that stage now where we don't see each other every day, yet every time someone's doing something we all build each other up, and that's the way it should be for everybody else as well, you know what I mean?
That's 100%. We should always be there, bro. And one thing we may need to do as well is never be afraid to hug someone.
Yeah.
Like, people don't like hugging.
No,
Men,
COVID.
especially. I can go right to COVID.
Fuck that,
If I see someone upset and needs a hug or that's depressed, I'll hug you.
Yeah.
Boy, girl,
And
anybody.
sometimes you just need that, innit? Sometimes
Nothing
you just
better than a
need
big
that.
hug,
Like,
bro.
this is two big blokes sitting here talking
Talking
about
about it.
But that's a good thing.
Do you know, and
Like,
people look at me,
delighted we can put this
me
out
Instagram
there.
with mom, he's tough fighting. I'm softy.
Yeah.
I'm a softy, bro.
Yeah.
I love-
I'm the same,
love
but
comfort.
I'm more obvious to a softy than you be, you know what I mean? This
Like,
big
I'm a
fighter
comfort,
and seven,
but see when it
but you
comes to
can't-
comes to fighting, I'll do it. But see when I want the comfort,
you need
all I
it.
want is just chill out.
Yeah.
Chill.
Let your boy cuddle you.
Yeah.
For the night. But that's it. It's a good thing that we actually touched on that, because we mightn't have touched on that whatsoever. So it's a good thing we got back in and touched on that, because mental health will always be, for me anyways, number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anybody, I know sometimes mates are afraid to put it out there, and sometimes I took wrong signals off the boys where in some situations I should have been there and might not have been, but wasn't purposely, do you know what I mean?
Sometimes
I
you're there
just
at the
didn't.
right and the
Yeah,
wrong time.
and I was there at the wrong time, obviously, a few times where I didn't take on board what somebody said when I should have really. Oh, he said that. Oh, don't mind me for a minute. It's all about you. But I'm learning from all of my small mistakes that I've made in life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, now
I'm
looking
still-
now though.
Yeah, and even at this age now, I'm still making mistakes and still learning. And you're
Yeah.
always gonna make mistakes, but it's about, like, I've often been in 3-week ruts where I couldn't talk to anybody, and I know deep down I'm going through something mentally, but it's just no.
You didn't have the balls to say you're out.
And you can't put your finger on it. Where at the end of the 3 weeks or whatever it was, I said to Stacey, the last 3 weeks I haven't been myself, and this is why, or this is how, or this is what I've been thinking about. And then when you do that, you're
Everything's just gone, yeah.
it's like a big weight. It's like you're carrying something around on your back for weeks, and then once you let it out there, it's like.
As soon as you let it out, it'll change. It
Yeah.
will. Like, I know it's hard to let it out, and people think as soon as the thing is though, as soon as you let it out, it's not gonna happen that second. It's gonna take a few days, a few weeks, could take a few months.
Yeah.
You don't know how long it's gonna take. But as soon as you let that out, you'll copy yourself. Something goes wrong, you'll say it straight away. You're like, oh shit, I'm not letting it out.
Yeah.
Then I'll start helping, and then I'll let everything fall in together.
So always look after your mental health. If you are struggling, always speak up. No matter who it is that you're speaking to, it could be family, friends,
Yeah.
some stranger. Sometimes it's even better to talk to a stranger. So
Facts.
always look after your mental health. I can't stress that enough. Is there anything you want to touch on, bro, before we finish up?
No, just make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, subscribe, leave a like, drop a comment, let me know what you thought of that, and keep an eye on Peter's Instagram. His link is going to be in my bio. Go and follow him and watch his journey, because I can guarantee you at some stage at one of the pro fighting sports he's going to be champion of. I can guarantee you that. I've seen him fight, I've seen him train, I've been trained by him constantly, so I know all about this, and I can guarantee you that. So like and subscribe, and peace out. Oh, bro.
Nice,
Yes.